Yeah, and so it's a really smart point where you say the smartest people on the left are leaving because they can, and also, but they're leaving because the people are demanding something different than these institutions. That's the other point.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, and some of it is just what you would call reason, just logic, truth, but most important, humor. Imagine working at these places and how insufferable those coworkers are. How when you go to work, you have to think about what you say all the time. You might be called into HR for things you have no idea. And this is another sad thing about, this is where I was wrong on something, and I know that it's rare. But it does happen even to me, that I thought that all the woke people in college campuses, when they graduated, they would never get jobs. I just assumed they wouldn't, because who would hire such crazy people? Turns out human resources does.
Yes.
And there are other. I mean, it's really. I'm not talking Fox excluded, of course. But I mean, that's where they go, and they create these crazy policies, and it's suffocating.
Well, and they have a disproportionate amount of power.
Yes.
And by the way, we love all of you that might work in HR.
Yes.
However, it seems as if there is a activism that is embedded in HR departments where the product is almost a political purpose.
Yes. Yeah. And not only that, when you're making the product, it has to appeal to the employee's emotional needs. It's like if when I go to work, my feelings better not be hurt, or I'm going home. When did that happen? Like when your dad and mom went to work, they went to work. You show up at 9 a.m., you start thinking about what you're going to have for lunch. That's what you do at work. There's something rewarding going on. Then after you eat, you're kind of lazy. Think about there's no like when I was a kid, there was no email. You couldn't scroll on Twitter. You actually had to do your work. But I mean, nobody was like thinking about like, oh my God, Steve just hurt my feelings by misgendering me. It's like, who cares? This is work. So it's like, yes. So that's a delusion that is being fed by cowards who they don't know. I think they are scared of the snake eating them, right? The snake of wokeism will turn on itself, and people in HR might be protected by sending out empathetic emails, telling you what this special day is, yes. And we're going to be doing this for these people and this for those people, and we're going to slice everybody up, like a pie of identity, and they think that's going to save them.
And one of the things that I think some conservatives got wrong, and I certainly underestimated this, was that there were going to be limits.
Yeah.
That somehow they would say, okay, we've gone too far. So, for example, the Oregon government, the Oregon Health Department recently, they were going to have an urgent meeting about monkeypox and about BA.5. You probably saw the story. And they sent out an email saying, we're very sorry, we need to delay this meeting,
yes.
Because urgency is a white supremacist value.
Yeah, I think I did that as a monologue, and it is the most insulting thing to blacks to say, yeah, it's like, it indulges the racist stereotype that certain groups of people are lazy. It's like,
or they don't take time seriously.
They don't take time seriously. I mean, how awful is that? If I were a minority in that department, I would have kicked a door in and demanded that's not just hurting people's feelings. That's actually detrimental to the workplace to say, you know what? I just wouldn't show up for work. I go, I got to take my time.
Well, but
I was on the way to work, and then I decided to go for a walk.
But also, this is not, the Oregon transgender department. This is the health department.
Yes.
And in the email chain, they're dealing with an urgent health matter. And they say, we can't deal with the urgent health matter because urgency itself is a white supremacist value.
Yes.
I'm waiting for the day. And again, this is why the Babylon Bee is so unbelievably brilliant. Because you cannot decipher between the Babylon Bee headline and what's happening in the New York Times. I'm just waiting for the FEMA press release. Hurricane incoming. No need to be urgent.
Yes.
Or
no
else
rush.
you're a KKK member.
Yes, no rush, no rush. You may die, but you'll be. Yes, exactly. I hate the Babylon Bee for reasons that they might be funnier than me, and that is a problem. But what's interesting? Going back to the left, what's happening to the left, as the Babylon Bee gets funnier and funnier, what's less funny? The Onion. The Onion actually did. They actually now kind of do serious stuff, and I'm like, why? What happened? And it's like, some things you just can't joke about. Even the Onion, like the Roe v. Wade thing, and we can't even joke about that. And so then they just like trash somebody, whatever. Meanwhile, the Babylon Bee has flipped the script. Now the Onion is Dean Wormer, they're Animal House, and they're really sweet, smart people. I mean, who would have thought that a Christian website is funnier than all the cool atheists?